Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State, where I'm glad to be back. It's always nice to go places, always nice to get back. We're broadcasting live from our studios in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And my name is Jeff Lynch, and I'm your co-host. And at the board is our man, Sammy Brooks, doing way more than just the board. And to my right is my friend, your friend,
Thank you,
America's
bud.
sweetheart, Scott Brooks.
Thank you. I hope you had a good time in Vegas. It was
Very
hot. Was it hot?
nicely hot. It was
Yeah,
nicely hot. I
yeah.
had good pool time and
Was it,
got a little bit of color.
Vegas? Jeff spent several days in Vegas. He and his lovely bride. The Vegas is talking about going through some real tough times right now because tourism is down. Was it noticeable that tourism was down, or was it just crowded enough that you're like, it may be down, but I can't tell.
I thought that on Saturday night when we were coming home from a show, the streets were the most crowded I'd ever seen. But I did think Thursday, Friday, Saturday day, it seemed to be down.
Yeah.
Went by my old stomping grounds, the Tropicana, where I used to go with my boys for years and years. And it's way down at the end of the strip.
Right.
And that has been all the way torn down. And
Wow.
that's going to be the site of the new baseball
Baseball arena.
stadium.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I'm glad you're back and had a great time.
Yeah.
As usual, thank you for being here. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday from noon until 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. We talk about, pardon the pun, I always say this, but we talk about everything under the sun, or a lot of things under the sun, and just two, three fun, average guys, ordinary guys, looking to share with you things that seem important to us or are important to us, and that in many cases seem important to you. So, thank you for being here. We do have all of this content bundled together in a nice package that you can get for $5 a month if you go to substack.com. Just spell it the way it sounds, substack.com.
One word.
Search Grit and Good News. You will find us there, and you'll see our logo just like the one behind me. And you can subscribe. You'll get columns, opinion poems, links to a variety of stories, our audio, audio and videos. So our show. So it's all there for you for $5 a month. We would appreciate your support, of course. Um, as usual, you
And
want to talk about that
yeah, and
calendar?
we'll make it quick because we always talk about this once a month, and I know it bores everyone but me because I love it so much. But we have just changed the calendar to May of 26, and of course you turn the dial and it's all screwy the way it looks. But there it is under Tuesday, and May is one of only 2 months of the year that doesn't share a calendar with anybody else.
Interesting.
May and June are the only two.
Interesting.
There you go.
Very good. All right. As usual, we do our little numbers gig. So
Well,
this
this
is
is
episode
episode 141.
141.
Sammy
Sammy
takes
takes the last two digits of that
this
episode
number
number and
and
goes out
goes
into
into
the
the
world
world
of
of sports
sports
and
and
finds
finds
the
surprisingly
surprisingly
the notable
athletes
across
across the
major
major sports
sports
in
in America
America
that
that wore
wore that
that
number.
number.
So
So,
Sammy,
Sammy,
number 41.
just
Sammy's mic's not working.
Just
That
talk a little louder.
louder. Is it working now? Is it
Pre-shows,
working? You're supposed to do a mic. You did
mic
mic
check.
test. Those mics are good right there on a piece of paper.
Checks everybody but his own.
Goofball. All right, I don't know well if you're watching and you can hear Sammy, tell us. So if you can't hear it, yeah, just try to speak a
Bark
little
it out.
louder. Yeah, played for wait, is that an athlete? Yeah, pull that over there. Okay, because there's a Eugene Robinson that's in a columnist too.
No, that's an athlete. We
All right.
got Eugene Robinson. We got Charlie Waters
Oh yeah, for the
for the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Tom Matt and Alvin Kamara wears it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
and
pretty
I
sure he's still.
swear Gale Sayers, the famous running back for the Bears, either wore 40 or 41, and I cannot remember which. When you're done, you can
I
look.
can look it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna do my. I know you guys didn't like my. I do
Oh,
a nice,
Kermit.
nice Gale Sayers.
Oh, I wouldn't even know what Gale Sayers sounds like.
All right. NBA. Y'all should know
NBA 40.
one.
Oh yeah, the Dirk, the great
Okay.
Nowitzki.
I forgot about him, honestly, when I was looking it up. So we got Dirk, we got Wes Unseld,
Yep.
play for the Bullets.
Who were the
Jamal
Bullets? Who are the Bullets now?
Wizards.
Yes.
We got Jamal Wiltz for the
Yeah, played for
Warriors.
the and for Lakers.
And then we got Glenn Rice for the Heat.
Yeah. All
Nothing
right.
crazy there. MLB, anything?
Tom Seaver.
Yeah, we got Tom Seaver for the Mets. There's
Yeah.
Tammy.
Thank
Gale
you,
Sayers,
Tammy.
we're 40. We got Eddie Matthews for the
Yeah.
Braves.
Yeah.
Daryl Evans.
Yep.
We got John Lackey
Okay.
and Pat Hentigen for the Blue
Okay.
Jays.
All right. Cool. And then hockey.
Hockey. Any?
I don't know. 40. I mean, I would imagine there's a goalie out there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a star on here. We got Jason Allison for the Bruins, Craig Anderson for the Sabres. We got Brent Gilchrist for the Canadians and Mike Smith for the Stars. Didn't he play for the Stars?
I don't know if he plays.
And then Stu Barnes
Yeah. Okay. Stu
for
Bars.
the
I remember
Sabres.
him.
That's it.
All right. Take your microphone. I don't know who that is. Sounds like a sickness to
So
me.
the greatness of the movie Brian's song.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Sammy, you and Kennedy. It's an old movie,
Yeah.
but you really should watch it. Brian's Song. It's about Gale Sayers and his buddy, who I won't tell you, but you should watch it.
Well, and they were rivals in terms of for the halfback position.
Yeah.
And Gail was the dominant one, and Brian was the number two, and Brian got deathly ill with
Mm.
what disease?
Don't tell him. You're spoiling it.
No, but he
I
comes up
swear.
and he gives this speech.
It was, yeah.
I love Brian Piccolo.
It was good. It's a sad movie.
It was a
It's the
sad.
kind of movie you cry at every time you watch it.
Yeah, I'm overdue for that. Thanks.
All right, very good. A couple other things we want to catch up on. Waxahachie baseball, man. These dudes are playing studs. Sammy says, best movie. It is a very, very, very good movie. Sammy, watch it this week. Brian's Song. You and Kennedy, if you're listening, come on and say you heard it, that Sammy won't do it. Watch Brian's Song. Waxahachie baseball, 34-2. They beat, I called him Bryson, but it was either Brian or Byron. Byron High School, then Saxe High School last week. This week,
Road trip.
head down Thursday night to play the mighty Highlanders of the Woodlands. You know, here's an interesting story. Not that this matters to anybody but me, but when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, I was living in Conroe.
Okay.
Conroe's right near
Right
the
there.
Woodlands.
Yeah.
And the Woodlands was being established.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, we were the Conroe Tigers, the mighty Conroe Tigers. Particularly in football, we were awesome. So the Woodlands opens, and they did just what Waxahachie did with their new high school, named the mascot and all the colors. So Woodlands comes up with the Highlanders.
Okay.
And we're deep in the heart of Texas, and we are roasting them. I mean, everybody was roasting them back then. And because the Highlanders, they wear kilts and all that other stuff. But now it's developed into a magnificent, fast growing community. I don't even know what the
With a
population is.
commercial business
Yeah.
base
It's big.
and a great golf course there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice place.
It's not unlike, it may be smaller, I think it is, than Frisco, but it's along those lines. But that's who the Indians will play Thursday night down there at their baseball field. Is called the Scotland Yard,
I love it.
which I think is great. So they'll play there Thursday night and then travel back, because it's about 5 hours, something
Four
like
hours,
that.
yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
north side.
So they'll travel back on Friday or Thursday night and then play Saturday, 2 games, one game for
1 o'clock.
sure. Yeah, one game in the afternoon, one game for sure. If necessary, they'll play 2. And
30
so,
minutes following the first.
yeah, so that may be something to do on a Saturday. I'm sure Richards Park will be packed.
When
But
there was talk about Houston getting an expansion hockey franchise, the Woodlands was considered
Yeah.
the number one choice of where it would go.
I can see why.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're excited about that. Of course, excited about the girls softball team. I don't have any update on them, but the boys are rocking it. The Sabres, my Sabres, have laid an egg. They came out against Montreal, won in sweet fashion. Game one, lost to game two, 6-1. Sunday night played game three, went up 1-0 within a minute and a half, and then got crushed 6-2. So we are down 2-1 with game four being in Montreal tonight. If more you're watching, the boys better get on them because we can't go down 3-1. We just can't. Although I'll never give up on the Sabres. And then we've got the Rangers. Between the Rangers and Stars, of course, we know the story of the Mavs, but the Rangers and Stars, I'm like, why don't we just call ourselves blah, like mediocre? Because that's what we are right now. Now, I'm not giving up on the Rangers either, particularly in that division. But
Only 2 out.
but yeah, we're only 2 out, and we're underwater in terms of being, um, uh, even. What do you call that?
Well, and our
Um,
early schedule was stacked with tough teams.
Yeah, well, just beat the Cubs 2 out of 3, and both of those games we won over the weekend were uh, shutouts, and then we lose in a shutout last night to Arizona 1-0. That is so weird to me. And that's Sammy has a column tomorrow about the Rangers and about Corey Seager. Corey better get off the schneid and earn his
He's
keep.
batting horrible.
He's making $32.5 million a year. We'll always be grateful for Corey Seager for helping us win the World Series and being the stud that he is. But something's not right.
Isn't he under contract until like 2031 with
Something like
us?
that, yeah.
A 10-year
10-year
contract?
deal. He and Marcus Simeon both were under a 10-year deal, and Simeon's gone. And the
And
Mets
I
suck.
try to stay away from baseball bets, but my wife, who was a great baseball fan, and she coached her boys from like age 8 through 15.
Yeah,
She threw live batting practice to them. All the teams hated her team because they had that woman
that
coach.
mom, yeah,
And so she's got one stat that she loves: strikeouts to walks ratio. So she's studying these things for that game.
yeah,
And the Yankees had a pitcher and their ace, and he had a 50-10 ratio, which is
yeah.
outstanding. He's leading in a tight game through 8, and they pull him, and the reliever coughs up a couple, and they
That
lose, and
happens
she was
often.
she was livid.
If
Glad
you
and they
want to
let
see
him.
an amazing stat, well, maybe we'll think to bring it on Thursday, is Greg Maddux. Played, I don't know, close to 20 years as a pitcher for the Braves and had, strikeout to that
To
ratio.
walk ratio, yeah.
I think he had less than 200 walks in his entire career, and of those walks, um, I can't remember, like
Chunk
a
of them were
very
intentional.
small portion of them were ever reached a 3-0 count.
Okay.
An incredible stat. Speaking of stats and speaking of baseball, let's have a little bit of fun. By the way, Sammy, I've got this. I came across this somewhere. Best MLB player at every jersey number, from 0, including 00, to 99. So I don't know that I agree with it, but if you picked a number like we're today, 41, Tom Seaver. But if
What about 5? Is Corey on 5?
5, Joe DiMaggio for the Yankees. Uh, and so there are some on here like number 89 who were random
Right.
player, but Miguel Sano, uh, number 36 Gaylord Perry of the Rangers fame,
Is 22 Clayton?
22 Clayton Kershaw. So 99, who would that be?
Well, in hockey, it'd be Gretzky, but
Aaron Judge.
Oh,
Judge.
But it 00 was Jack Clark of the St. Louis Cardinals. Speaking of the Cardinals, number 1, Ozzie Smith. So it's got all the way through. Keep that over
I
there.
wonder if he took that 99 with the idea he was going to be the greatest in
I
baseball.
think he did. I think he did it under the same concept as Gretzky.
Yeah.
And nobody else. The only other player I remember wearing number 99 was Mitch Williams for the Philadelphia Phillies, a left-handed pitcher that got cranked in the World Series against the Toronto Blue
Right.
Jays.
is 26 not allowed to be War?
Why?
Because it skips.
It does.
Goes from 25 Barry Bonds to 27 Mike Trout. Is that a retired number in the?
No, not that
No,
I'm aware of.
Jackie
42,
Robinson was 42, right?
but it's 42 on there. It probably says Jackie
Yeah, it's
Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. I
Yeah, I
wonder
don't
why.
know. Maybe somebody just missed it. Who knows?
Maybe
All
they
right,
couldn't
but let
find
me.
anybody worthy.
So we got the ABS stuff, and we've talked about this before, which I think has made baseball. It has made baseball come clean, particularly umpire. The umpire position, if you will, it's made it come clean. No longer
Accountable.
can these whack jobs who wouldn't know a strike zone if it slapped them in their face. Now they can't get away with it anymore.
And the whole deal where every ump had his
Strike
strike
zone.
zone. And you had to kind of know what it was or how he was calling it
Yeah,
that night. And
it's just not acceptable. And it's over the plate, period, and
yeah,
just call it that way. So the ABS system is in full force now. So I thought I'd give you the stats to date, overall attempt, total number of attempts. Take a stab. How many times have players or pitchers or catchers tapped the top of their helmet or hat?
172.
I was trying to do math in my head. You can only do it a couple of times per game.
Yeah, but every player can do it. Oh no, that's right. No, they lose. Yeah, it's up for a
So
team.
I'd have to.
2,485 times. Overturned successful, 1,317. Confirmed unsuccessful, 1,168. Frequency, roughly 1.4% of total pitches, or 2.6% of all non-swinging ball strike calls are challenged. So
Small percentage. Yeah.
success by positioning. Defensive fielders remain substantially more accurate than hitters when initiating challenges. Isn't that interesting? Because the only ones that can call the ABS or contest it are the pitchers, catchers, and batter. So these batters know the strike zone, but they also are looking. It's like being on the football field as opposed to being above it. When you're a catcher, you know where that ball was because you're catching it. You're a pitcher, you know where it is because you threw it. A batter is looking at it, but has the depth. He has to figure out, was that inside enough
Right.
or outside enough?
So
And
they look up at the infielder to give him a little wink or
I
a
don't
nod.
know if they do, but it says fielders, catchers and pitchers. So that's what
Yeah.
they're calling them. 59% success rate. 788 have been overturned. 547 confirmed. Batters, 46% success rate. More have been confirmed than overturned. The catcher's advantage. Catchers initiate roughly 90% of all defensive challenges because they sit directly behind the
Sure.
plate and evaluate pitch framing continuously. Their baseline win rates are around 56 to 58%. Strategic pace and game impact. Review speed. Real game challenges average roughly 13.8 seconds from signal to final ruling. Game length impact. Teams use roughly 4.1 to 4.3 challenges per game, because if they get it right, then they don't
Mm-hmm.
lose them. This introduces less than 60 seconds of total stoppage time per contest, and then team leaders, according to Yahoo Sports Tracker data. Any guesses you on these? Are two of these are American League? Maybe all three are American League. No, two American League. Of the three best, Arizona Diamondbacks is the best. Detroit Tigers and Kansas City Royals are the others. So those are the ones using it best. But I love those kinds of stats, and it's such a great twist to the game. It's like
Right.
the NFL. Give them a point, the kickoff kicker for kicking. Well, that's obvious, or make the overtime better. But I say let the kickoff guy, every
Lane
time
Kiffin
the
has
kicker
leveled up the
puts it
beef
through
with
the
Ole
upright,
Miss to
give him the
absolute
team a point.
insanity.
I'm
It's
telling you,
about to
so
go
much fun.
down.
Every game
Today,
almost. All right.
Well,
So there you go. A couple of things I want to mention before we get into the depth, the guts of our show. Last week I talked a lot about Hannah Dillard, and there will be more to come. We're working on a number of different things, not the least of which, and I'm here to tell you, are going to be some serious attempts to uh, well, we're going to file complaints. We're hopeful that those complaints will have an impact on those involved here. And because the more and more you learn, even those of you who are quick to say, well, she was drunk, she deserves to be under the jail. If if you will really just look at this in its context, you will understand how abhorrent people in Ellis County and the judicial system treated Hannah Dillard and her family. in so many different unethical ways. It's not even funny. So we'll have more on that in the weeks to come. I also want to mention that I introduced a new case last week, Heather Hansen, who lost her life when she rear-ended a guy who was on the interstate going 18 miles an hour, and she lost her life, and no charges were brought to the guy going 18 miles an hour and obviously impaired to some extent. I understand, just like with Hannah's, we've been working on this for a year and a half. There's many components to a story. And so my job, my desire really is to make sure I understand it all and then be able to share with you in a passionate, confident way what I think has happened here. So I wanted to make sure that that's the context in which we look at those things, because now I've been contacted by the mother of the dad and little boy who were hit and killed in Ferris in 2021, I believe it was. Um, and there's going to be more about that as well, because they're so different in terms of the sentencing, and it makes no sense. There's something seriously unethically wrong with the way Hannah Dillard was sentenced, why, and how she was treated. And it was done by prosecutors and a judge here in Ellis County, and we're just not going to give up. Did you see what Pete Davidson had to? You know who Pete Davidson is? That jerk of a supposedly a comedian said about
I do not.
Charlie. Well, I'm not going to repeat what he said because it was vulgar, not even close. Gutter is not even close. It was disgusting. But he basically said that making light of Charlie losing his life back in September, which was 8 months ago, this past Sunday, it just blows my mind that these people are so obsessed with attention, getting a headline, that they'll say anything, literally anything.
Well, it's back to what we were talking about with Jimmy Kimmel in versus Johnny Carson and all that. I mean, why? Why do comedians think we want to hear about their politics? And you know what? I don't want to hear about
Yeah.
entertainers' politics. I don't want to hear about athletes' politics. I want to hear about
Well,
politicians'
yeah, it's
politics. You know?
about yeah, and in most of those you don't even want to hear about it, but because it'll drive you to drink. That's why I get on Bruce Springsteen and others. Just play the music. In this case, I did see a clip. I didn't hear it. It was on the. I could see it, but I couldn't hear it. Um, Jimmy Kimmel, Colbert, a guy named Oliver. I don't know who that is, and Seth, one of the other late night people, guys were all on one of the shows, sitting there talking, and I'm thinking, there's a aggregate minus IQ right there. Anyway, so Pete Davidson should be, if you get a chance to turn off Pete Davidson, turn him off. That's your right. All right. On June 2nd, California is on the verge. Um, will be on the verge of hiring a Republican governor for the first time since Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I forget when he last, yeah, he was governor of California years
You know
ago.
what it was before that?
Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan.
How about world champion bodybuilder in Austria?
Who?
Arnold.
I thought you said who was the governor
No.
before in the years before, because Reagan was the governor of California too. Yeah. So,
So was Jerry Brown.
yeah,
Married to who?
I knew it one time now. I don't remember.
Linda
Oh,
Ronstadt.
yeah, that's right.
And Rangers had a
Does that work? It works now?
Yeah.
Rangers had a shortstop, Jerry Brown. We all called him
Oh,
Governor.
yeah.
Governor.
So Steve Hilton has a very good chance of winning the governor's race in California. And if that happens, oh my word, what a shift in America that will take place.
You're
It
talking
really
about in the
will.
general in November.
Well, it's their system is such that they call it um, the jungle system,
Okay.
meaning regardless of your party, the top two
Okay.
winners uh, go to the general.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what, it could be two Democrats, two Republicans, one of each, but they go to the general, and there are no write-ins or anything like that. So
So you're saying that this is going to make Gavin Newsom come in third and not be in
He
it?
can't run again. He's termed out.
He's termed out.
Yeah, so it's really down to Katie Porter, who Jesse
so
Waters calls her potatoes, cracks me up. And a sheriff out there, Tom Steyer, who's a
no
billionaire.
wonder Newsom wants president.
Yeah, he's done.
Because he's got nothing else.
He's done in November.
Okay, I never knew that.
But it's very likely that Steve Hilton will
Okay.
very possible, I should put it that way.
Was
will win.
Arnold Schwarzenegger a good governor?
He wasn't nearly as bad as the others, like Newsom.
That is crazy. I had no idea.
You know what? Especially in that state, that was a popularity contest, and not to criticize or to applaud, but I think that's a case where he got in over his head, and I'm not really sure why he wanted that job, because I would think he was smart enough to know he'd be over his head, but maybe he just thought if he surrounded himself with good advisors.
He had before him the example of Ronald Reagan, and maybe that had an impact. But
well, yeah, but he was no Ronald Reagan between the years, right?
Steve Hilton is he's an American citizen, but he's from Britain.
So what's the date on this election?
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Yep. And then the last thing I want to mention, real quick, Lane Kiffin. So Sammy, cue up that video. I'm gonna read this quote to you, and then I want you to hear a Georgia fan's take on what Lane Kiffin had to say. But here's what Lane Kiffin, who, as you may know, is the head coach at the LSU, Louisiana State University, after dragging it out at Ole Miss, making himself the center of everything like he always does. This guy is a basket case, in my opinion. Might be a good coach, but he's a basket case. And so, hey, Terry, welcome, bud. So Lane Kiffin drags on forever. Remember at the playoffs, and then in the bowl season, way until the very end, and then he couldn't coach in the playoffs, and so on and so forth. And so then he gets a job at LSU. Vanity Fair comes along. Vanity Fair magazine comes along and interviews Kiffin. And so at Ole Miss, Kiffin says top recruits would tell him, quote, "Hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Parents were sitting here this weekend saying the campus's diversity feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation, and we want that for our kid because that's the real world." The next day, Kiffin added, quote, "I just hope this comes across respectful to Ole Miss. There are some things that I'm saying that are factual. They're not shots." So what Lane Kiffin is saying is that Ole Miss is still racist, tends to be segregated, and blah, blah, blah. It is for a school in the Deep South, it is one of the most hurtful, painful, wounding things you could say, particularly when you go back to when Lane Kiffin took the job. Lane Kiffin was at Alabama. Nick Saban got rid of him because he was sniffing around other jobs, and Saban's like, "You're either focused on Alabama or you're not, and you're not, so you're done." Lane Kiffin gets a job at Florida International, or FA, Florida Atlantic, and down in Daytona or Boca Raton, wherever it is. Coaches 1 year, then gets a job at Ole Miss, and profusely talked about how great Ole Miss is, how great the city of Oxford is, how great and meaningful they are to him, the way they treated him, the way they respond and support, and blah, blah, blah. And then he has the audacity to go to LSU and talk out of both sides of his stupid mouth. And this is what he said. So Sammy played that quote.
Sign that contract while the season was on, and then be shocked when they didn't want him to coach.
That's
in the
epitome of arrogance, isn't it? Yeah.
Lane Kiffin has leveled up the beef with Ole Miss to absolute insanity.
It's about to go down.
Today, Vanity Fair released an expose of Lane Kiffin, which only he would do, where it was headlined by Lane Kiffin pretty much flat out calling Ole Miss racist. Lane cited as a driving factor for leaving Oxford for Baton Rouge difficulty in recruiting directly because of Ole Miss's culture tying to racism and the Confederate South. Kiffin says that Ole Miss's connection to symbols like the Confederate flag, the rebel, and even the name Ole Miss itself caused recruits to tell him that even though they loved him and loved the school, that they would not be able to commit because their family would not want them to go there because of the perceived culture of Oxford. He would go on to basically say that LSU was the complete opposite of this, saying, quote, "It feels like there's no segregation." Of course, everyone on the internet immediately started calling Kiffin a hypocrite because the LSU Tigers actually got their name from a battalion of the Confederate Army. If you thought Lane and the people of Ole Miss were beefing before, he definitely just cranked it up like 100 notches. I know we don't technically have a dog in the fight, but who else cannot wait for LSU to travel to Oxford, Mississippi this fall on September 19th? It is going to be electric. Lane, you better bring 100 bodyguards.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Sam. Yeah.
I once had a subscription to Vanity Fair magazine. You know when you get these deals saying your airline miles are
Yeah.
are expiring, so pick 3, Sports Illustrated, Time. I go, I'll give it Vanity Fair a try.
Never opened it, but
One year, that was it.
Lane Kiffin, you know, I admire men like Trump, who just in a conversation the other day about Trump and with some friends of mine, and we were talking about how what we see as just idiocy coming out of Trump's mouth is for him a part of his strategy. His intuition is at such a high level, in my opinion, that he knows that what he's going to say, about to do. Remember when he had that quote Trump did, where "May Allah be with you"? Remember that recently?
Yeah.
He knew exactly what that was going to elicit. He knew exactly what the response was going to be, and he knew exactly how he'd follow it up. I don't give that same indulgence to Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin, a great football coach, got charisma. I think he, in some ways, he's immature and not real bright. So I don't think he understands what he said and the impact to it or of it. And you know, I don't wish any harm on anybody, and I hate talking about racism in the sense that everything is about racism. And in my opinion, America is one of the most non-racist countries in the world. But Kiffin stepped in it, and we'll see what it does. I can assure you that if I were an Ole Miss fan, if he'd said that about Alabama, I may have to get tickets to that game to let him at least me scream at him. Whether he can hear me or not, I don't know.
Bring it on.
So there you have it on the old boy Lane Kiffin. Trump is the conservatives, Republicans in Congress are working on a plan now to make null and void. It's almost like an annulment when somebody gets married, to wipe away the impeachments, the 2 impeachments that Trump was charged with, back in 2021 or 22. My hope is that they're successful with that, but because all you hear anymore is, he's been impeached. He's been 34 convictions and blah blah blah. They leave out the part where it's all made up. So we'll keep you informed of that. The LA mayor's race, talking about California, we got Spencer Pratt. Sammy, did you know who Spencer Pratt was before? He's a reality TV show guy. He's very articulate, very bright, and he's running as the Republican against the current mayor of LA and the comptroller of Los Angeles right now. And they are like deer in the headlights when he gets going. So there's a lot going to happen with California, and I look forward to that. We need that state to be in good shape and a good place. And then the last thing on this list is, Sammy, you didn't find any video on that airplane? You did? You cue it up? Yeah. So those, life is so full of tarnations, as we like to call them here, and tarnations aren't always bad. Tarnations are simply that which makes you say, "What is going on?" And the mental issues that people face. If you've been paying attention in the news lately, is a young man. I assume he's young. I don't know how old he is, but I don't even know if they've released his identity. But they've got him at night, and this was in Denver. You can see him with infrared cameras You can see he breached the security to get onto a runway, so he had to climb over a fence that had barbed wire at the top. Got onto the fields next to the runway, and you can see him walking directly to the runway. And his whole point, as you're about to see, we won't the graphic part isn't here, but he walks right in front of a commercial airliner that's going over 150 miles an hour, and he stands right in front of it. And I thought it was just an incredible, sad thing. Sammy, go ahead and play it. It's brief, right? Yeah.
News now out of Denver, where a Frontier jet bound for LAX has apparently hit a person on the runway at Denver International Airport. The pilot alerting the tower and saying an engine on his plane was on fire. We just got the dramatic tower tapes. Take a listen.
Tower Frontier 4345, we're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Can you know the souls on board?
We have 231 souls on board. There was an individual walking across the runway.
We've got smoke in the aircraft. We're going to evacuate on the runway.
Fire trucks dispatched to the
Yeah,
plane
the
to put
video-
out the engine fire.
The video shows again the infrared person, and you can see it looks like because an airplane is too high for you to just walk out there unless you position yourself or something hit you. And it looks like he positions himself in this case right in front of the right engine.
So I got 2 Tarnations on that. One, we never watched any news on TV. We watched only the
While
sports.
you were in Vegas?
Sports that we're in Vegas. And Rita's, but you get blurbs across your phone.
Yeah.
And Rita says, I got one here that said a pedestrian was struck on a runway in Denver. And I'm going, pedestrian? I said, well, what happened? They said, well, the guy got over the fence and walked out to the runway. I go, well, the minute the guy got inside the fence, was he a pedestrian? No, he wasn't a pedestrian. He's just a guy that got inside the airport. And then last night we come back, finally get some news, and they talk about, now there's a lot of controversy about the perimeters around Donald Trump's airports in our country. Like, whoa.
Yeah,
Donald Trump inherited it. I mean, how are you smearing Donald Trump about enforcement around
yeah.
airports that have been there forever?
It's like anything else.
Hey,
It's always Trump's fault,
you know
right?
what? There's a fence all around DFW Airport. You
Yeah.
can see it from 114. You can
Well,
see it from different places.
Yeah, there are fences around all these airports. I mean, even the one here, Midway, there are fences that are
They have
designed to keep
massive
people out.
amounts of land beyond just
Yeah.
the airport and the runways.
Yeah, this guy walked quite a distance. I mean, you could see him trudging through the
He's
grass,
a
and
pedestrian guy.
yeah,
He's
and he climbed over the fence. So if somebody said, "Here, I'll give you $200 or whatever to climb over this fence with barbed wire," I might give it a shot. But so they are scalable, and you can breach them. But you don't hear about that very often. I mean, when was the last time we heard about somebody walking onto a tarmac? We don't hear about it ever, really.
Yeah.
But it just gives you a sense of what's going on in this country and how crazy it's gotten.
They were never Joe Biden's fences.
Yeah, really. Daystar Television, Daystar is much like TBN. It's much like remember Jim and Tammy Faye, Jim Baker and Tammy Faye, way back when gospel people on TV.
Headquartered out of Fort Worth.
They're in the Metroplex. I think it's Fort Worth. I wanted to say Euless or Hebron, somewhere in the Metroplex in Dallas County.
Tarrant County.
No, Dallas County, I think. I'm almost sure it's Dallas. I'm almost sure it is.
Okay.
But anyway, they very big Christian broadcasting network all over the world. I remember when I was in college in the early 80s in Montgomery, Alabama, Marcus Lamb and Joni Lamb, newly married, got started in Montgomery, and they used to be on this little podunky channel wherever we'd find it. It was like, what is this? And then they were doing their preaching and hopping around, and then all these years later, they become one of the biggest Christian networks in America. They have had some issues. First of all, Marcus Lamb died of COVID in 2021, I believe. He was not that old. I mean, he was in his 50s, if not early 60s. Joni then took over Daystar Television, and then real issues started to happen. She got married to a guy that's got some issues supposedly, and it's become that she fired her son, who was making claims that there was sexual abuse going on and that sort of thing. Uh, Joni Lamb's family is speaking out due to a mix of emotions and unresolved issues, particularly surrounding her death and a complicated relationship. Here's what's known: lack of notification. Her son Jonathan and daughter-in-law Susie claimed they weren't informed about Joni's passing uh, until they learned about it online. That was last Thursday. Joni passed away. Past conflicts. The family has been embroiled in disputes over control of Daystar Television Network, which Joni co-founded with her first husband, Marcus Lamb. Jonathan was fired, that's her son, from his role at the network in November 2024 after accusing Joni of covering up abuse allegations against her granddaughter. Abuse allegations. Jonathan and Susie accused Joni of spiritual abuse and financial misconduct, which she denied. A Texas Police Department investigation found insufficient evidence to file charges. Family rift. Joni's marriage to Doug Weiss, a sex therapist, caused tension within the family. Jonathan opposed the marriage, citing biblical grounds. And then emotional aftermath. Susie Lamb, Joni's daughter-in-law, shared an emotional Mother's Day post praising her mother and I guess it was her. I don't know if it's her mother or mother-in-law, expressing forgiveness towards Joni, but didn't mention her by name. So I only mention this because a lot of people, well, a fair number of people that watch our show are people that I know go to church and may have seen Joni Lamb and all that. I guess it just goes to show you that if any of this is true, which I don't know, but you know, a lot of networks, Christian networks, have so many issues because they lose sight of what they were there to do. And Daystar Television appears to be just another. All right. What do you have? Any other Tarnations, Jeffrey?
That's my tarnation.
All right. I want to hear we've had your thoughts for today or of the day. We haven't used them since when?
March 13th, which
Oh,
tells that's how long it's been since.
Just a little behind on that. So let's hear what you got. If you can find them.
Paperclip. Mark, right here. Thank you very much. This was from my neurologist.
Nice.
When everything is tolerated, the intolerable becomes inevitable. Wow.
Yep.
It's not the putter in the hand, it's the hands of the putter.
That's right.
The woods are full of big hitters. That's in a golf expression.
Mm-hmm.
Happy wife, happy life. Heat index and wind chill are real. A
Yeah.
lot of people go, what is all that? Well, they are.
Yeah, for sure.
They're legitimate indicators of comfort. That's it.
Yeah, those are good. It's funny you say that about tolerance. As you know, you guys don't, but I'll tell you, our good news pieces of our content this coming Friday or Monday, one of the two, we're talking about how America is being, in many respects, I don't know about corrupted, but well, I guess in part corrupted, destroyed, damaged because of a tolerance that has gone berserk. Now we're all taught from hopefully, from when we were kids that we should be tolerant. We should have empathy. Tolerance is one thing. Empathy, I like empathy, compassion. That we should recognize that people were dealt a different hand than we were, and that we should be compassionate and empathetic. There is a point, however, where that can go on to a degree that becomes really, really bad. And I make in my piece the argument that we are at that place in America where, and I could cite countless examples where our empathy has now found us being cheerleaders and acceptance and embracing evil. And you know that you mentioned that quote about tolerance.
Yeah.
The quote I lead with, I believe, in my column is something along the lines of uh, it's a license for evil will become so tolerant.
Right.
It's a license for people to commit evil. It's like this dude, the judge. We talked this before you went to Vegas. Remember, I think we did. The judge in either D.C. or Virginia who said to the guy who tried to assassinate Trump, I'm sorry you've been treated the way you've been treated.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't have your vegan meal. I'm sorry you didn't have a Bible. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is a dude who just tried to assassinate the president of the United States, and in doing so was more than comfortable. Obviously, he had weapons and he was shooting people at people. He was willing to kill people. And we have a Nimrod judge who's so overly empathetic. I don't even think that's not the word, but that's the description that he's willing to put this guy's needs first. Remember the CEO that got killed in New York, the insurance guy, health insurance, United Health? Luigi walked up behind him and shot him in the back. I mean, that's as cowardly as it gets. And now we have a whole fan club of people all over the world that love Luigi.
And a growing sentiment of, I'm not sure what part of the younger generation, but a growing sentiment saying that violent crime against politicians is something that we should tolerate.
Yeah, that's
And
a
I
another
keep
good
hearing,
example.
I'm going, are you kidding me?
Well, and it's like remember the young lady that was killed on the train in Charlotte, and she looked up a cute little
Yeah.
20-year-old female that's murdered by this whack job, and there are people out there that are so empathetic. Well, I keep empathetic that they embrace the guy and say, "Oh, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't really mean, you know."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's happening on so many different levels. I think a basketball, Sammy. Now, Stephen A. Smith the other night, uh, Wembanyama, what's his first name? Victor Wembanyama, who's the star of the San Antonio Spurs. He's 7'4", something like that. Can play. He's a real superstar. The other night in a playoff game, he's skinny, really skinny and tall, and he's been beat upon. I mean, these
Yeah.
other guys are just pounding away at him. Well, the other night in the game, he had the ball in his hands. They were trying to grab it so they could get a jump ball. And instead of just swinging his arms like they'll do to be free of all that gnat, feeling like gnats, sometimes they'll do that and inadvertently hit somebody in the face. So Wembanyama basically said in his mind, I'm saying I'm done. And he purposefully, is as purposeful an elbow as I've ever seen. Just, I mean, nails the dude.
You know, I've only seen it one time, and I heard all the controversy. And when I watched it, I thought to myself, okay, when there's a tie up and you're trying to get out, it's kind of
Yeah.
natural. And I don't think he had any idea exactly where that guy's head was. He was just, I'm getting out of
Watch it
here.
again.
I'm getting out of here.
Watch it again. He knew right where Nas
Did he
Reed
know where it
was.
He
was?
knew exactly the replay. He was looking back. He was mad
He-
because Jaden McDaniels had just fouled him, and the refs didn't blow a whistle, and he was getting pounded right, just standing there, and he turned and looked and just
It was
riled it up and right
it
to
was
his
as
right
blatant
here.
an elbow as I've seen in the
Okay,
NBA.
all right.
And to that point, of course, they went to the replay, and he didn't know.
He didn't know what a flagrant 2 meant.
Which means he's going to get thrown out.
It's an
And
automatic ejection.
and he was ejected in the second quarter. They lost that game. But you watch it again, I don't think there's any doubt that he was like, I'm fed up with this. I'm nailing him. And he was
Which
willing to
happens.
take the technical.
Yeah.
That stuff
And
happens.
there's
So-
no further suspension.
No,
no
he
further
got
So that's
thrown
the
out, whatever.
that's the point I want to make. So whether we're talking about god awful things like murder and excusing it because of our overindulgence of empathy, we even in seemingly meaningless stuff
Right.
here. We got one reporter who says he ought to be suspended for 1 or 2 games. And then we got others who say it's not that big of a deal. He doesn't need to be suspended. The NBA needs him for TV ratings and so on and so forth. That's a dichotomy of what I'm talking about.
Right.
We're saying let's be empathetic for reasons that are so shaky and faulty that's just excuses. So what's going to happen now? So they play tonight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that Nas Reed, who got elbowed by Wembenyama, decides in the fourth quarter, what game's almost over, I'm going to elbow him back and right in the face.
Yeah.
He knows he's not going to get suspended because they didn't suspend Wembenyama.
Well, they may, but in this case, because they're calling it premeditated. I don't know. And this applies to so many other things when we talk about the use of
Yeah,
vulgarity,
that's right.
and it's just the dumbing down of America of just allowing things to happen. So let before we go to the poem, let's just let this sink in one more time. When everything is tolerated, the intolerable becomes inevitable.
That's right. And now you'll see in the houses of Congress where there was always respect given
Right.
with language and such, and now they'll use the F-bomb, every other word you can think of. They don't care. It's incredible. So anyway, all right, what you got for a poem?
So I was kind of snoozing away on my couch in Vegas, and I get a call, and it's my buddy Joe Youngbauer and his wife J9 and his brother Louie and his wife Becky, and all I can hear is SOPKIEWICZ. What? They do it again, louder. SOPKIEWICZ. Third time. SOPKIEWICZ. Yeah. Simba, how you doing? I go, good. Hey, did you stop to think that today is the 1 year anniversary of Tommy's death? I said, no,
Oh,
thanks for reminding me. And then Louis says, I've never seen anybody give a eulogy where you had everybody in the entire church eating out of your hands, because the guy's last name is Sopkowitz. And I open by saying, I know everybody is here loves Tommy, but can you even spell his name?
I wouldn't have a
And
clue.
nobody could. And so I said, Tommy, I want to make sure that you're hearing us up in heaven. And that's how come we just kept getting louder and louder and louder. And
That's funny.
it was a great deal. And
funny.
so this is just a short poem about Tommy, way short of the eulogy that I gave. And it's called R.I.P. Tommy. Little League coach Al Hartman taught Tommy about putting up the bats. He was a bat boy for the neighborhood team. Don't put them up until the last out. He has learned and did not pout. The doctor told me this at a Stars game. I was packing up my binoculars, and Tom gave me some shame. Tommy, the doctor, got his name at an intramural hockey game. He had applied a half-clean hanky on a co-ed's face. A puck had hit her in that place. Then from the ice came a roar. Heh, heh, heh. Hey, look, it's Tommy, the doctor. He was quite a dancer without being a prancer, always showcasing the lady Tom knew was the dancing answer. His youth was spent on St. Paul's east side. To Sopkowitz, it was a source of pride. Blunt to a fault, his emotions he never did hide.
That's good.
Thank you. God rest you, Tommy.
All right, day in history. We haven't had one in a while.
No, we haven't. Here we go.
Let's hear it.
5 and 3. I started out strong and faded like a hot house flower.
All right.
May 22nd, 132nd day of the year, 233 days left. The besieged city of Charleston, South Carolina, surrendered to British forces in one of the worst American defeats of the Revolutionary War.
1849.
1846. I
The
can't remember.
Revolutionary War.
1896.
When was the Revolutionary War?
1770s,
Oh.
1780. Guys, come on.
Just barely missed it.
The pioneers of the Donner Party. And you remember when
The Dahmer?
Donner, Donner, the earthquake, the avalanche happened up in Lake Tahoe?
No.
Those were the Donner cabins from those settlers. left the Independence, Missouri on the Oregon Trail, beginning their ill-fated attempt to migrate to California?
1889.
1855.
1846, on their way for the gold rush.
Missed it
1849,
by
the
9.
body of Charles Lindbergh Jr., the 20-month-old kidnapped son of Charles and Ann Lindbergh, was found in a wooded area near Hopewell, New Jersey. Come on.
Saying, come on.
Come on. The famous kidnap of the Lindbergh baby.
1925.
I was going to say 1890.
32, you snuck in.
Oh.
You snuck in. Franklin D. Roosevelt administration established both the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, which provided federal funding to states for relief programs, and the Agricultural Adjustment Administration, which provided economic support to farmers through agricultural surplus reductions. Now, come on, guys.
1940.
39.
33.
I'm there.
Both got it, yeah.
The Soviet Union lifted the Berlin blockade, which the Western powers had succeeded in circumventing with their Berlin airlift.
1957.
1963.
49,
Oh, we both missed
right
it.
after World War II. Members of the Khmer Rouge led Cambodia government seized an American merchant ship, the SS Mayaguez, in international waters, sparking a 3-day battle that resulted in the deaths of 41 Americans.
1974.
1988.
75, good job.
Good,
Ooh.
Sam. Dang.
In Fatima, Portugal, security guards overpowered a Spanish priest armed with a bayonet who attacked Pope John Paul II.
That happened in 84.
94.
82.
Good, Sam. Getting
A
smoked.
devastating 7.9 magnitude earthquake in China's Sichuan province left more than 87,000 people dead or missing.
Two,
Wow, it's a big earthquake.
2003.
2013.
2008.
Ooh.
Oh, we both got it.
Come on.
All right,
Is that it?
that's it.
Oh, that's it?
I didn't do
I
very
did good.
well
I got
today.
4 of them.
I got 3 and 5. Yeah. All right. Our sponsor of the show is Hoosier Custom Meats. HOOSER Custom Meats. Sammy has it up on the screen. You can email them. You can call them. If you're looking for great farm bred, raised food, go to see them. Tell them the boys at Grit and Good News told you about them. They make some great stuff. Or raise some great stuff and can provide you really with what you want. So check them out. HoosierCustomMeats.com. Facts that are maybe true, maybe not.
True facts.
This is a little one. Yeah. This is a different one, I should say. True or false? Legendary children's show host Mr. Rogers, welcome to my neighborhood, was once a Marine sniper with dozens of kills under his belt. True or false?
You go.
It sounds so improbable, it has to be true.
I went false.
False. Despite the popularity of this rumor, there is no evidence that Fred Rogers ever served in the military, let alone as a sniper. Can you
Right.
picture him? He's a
Right.
sniper and he wore a cardigan sweater.
Jeffrey Michael, shame on
That's
you.
too funny. Gotcha. All right. Thank you all for being with us. I will be back on Thursday. Sammy may be joining me. Jeff's not going to be here. So it may be me and Sam, or it may be me alone. So anyway, we hope to see you back on Thursday.
Yeah, try not to miss too many times. Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face. Boom.